Welcome back to the curse of who's the last person you talked to? The Baron?
Rictavio.
The curse of Rictavio!
The curse of Rictavio.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I was watching this like YouTube video a little bit on Curse of Strahd stuff this week, which was like one of the first times I actually delved into anything that I didn't just do myself. I've been very like alone in my planning and in getting things going. I've been really just using the guide. I haven't been using any external resources, but I decided, you know what, I should branch out and look out there. And then I saw this YouTube video and the guy said Rictavio and I closed it and I decided that I will never.
I'm better off on my own.
I'm better off alone. Yeah, he was like an English guy. He was like Rictavio, and I was like, nope. And I left, and that was the end of that. And so we're on our own again. So you guys last left off at the Festival of the Blazing Sun, where all will be well. And
you said mine's
or else.
Sorry. That was a look. Can't wait to rewatch that one day. And you guys last left off attending this festival, and the Baron was getting ready to light the blazing wicker sun when suddenly you heard a couple of curdling screams from adult-sounding men, two distinct screams coming from the east of the square. And the entire town attending the festival all turned in creepy unison to face east, sorry. And the town all faces east as a wave of terror infuses them. And that is where we left off last time. So the town faces east. A still silence overcomes all noise prior and is broken only by the sound of what you discern as an inhuman snarl coming from the northeast direction.
Uh-oh.
As you stand there in shock and stare at yourselves and each other and the townsfolk.
I look over at Zug.
You are in the middle of the town square.
We're in the middle of the crowd.
You are in the middle of the crowd.
Zug, did you forget to eat again?
I think I'm going to start running to find a vantage point. Like I'm going to start pushing through the crowd.
Okay. You begin to push through the crowd, and the crowd almost doesn't move. It's almost as if you're pushing mannequins. They're very still. Kind of creepy.
Oh. They're like pushing back against me, or they just aren't like.
You can move them, but
it's not
the normal reaction you might expect of people. It's like they're all solid and frozen. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess Romies breaks into a sprint. And you hear Isaac yell from the back of the crowd, Lars. And he beckons over Lars and he says, grab your crew. And the guard, Lars, beckons to a group of other guards to come and join Isaac, and they head down, or I should say up a northern street above the plaza. And 6 of them break in that direction to go see what is transpiring.
So it's that roar was unnatural to the town as well?
Seems that way.
You heard screams, and then you heard the sound of an inhuman snarl.
Everyone around us still like silent and just staring to the east.
Mhm.
What do their faces look like? Do they look unnerved or are they just like blank?
Like terror.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here,
Silent
let's-
terror?
great.
Silent terror.
Gross.
Not for you.
Rude.
And as a few minutes pass, the townsfolk start to like chatter a little bit amongst themselves, and the volume begins to rise a little.
What are they chattering about?
Nothing that you can make out.
So,
Aren't I standing like directly next to some of them?
I mean, you're
Are they
standing in the middle of the square,
Are they
unless
mumbling?
you've moved, which I have not heard that anyone has moved except for Ramis.
No, we're
think
still in
I'm-
the square.
I'm,
So
like, I'm-
everyone around us is kind of starting to talk again, but we can't hear any of them.
You can hear indistinct chatter. You cannot make out any individual conversations.
Oh,
Are we
man.
like up on a pedestal or anything? Or
Nope.
only in our minds.
No.
Says
in the middle
Ramis of
the square.
himself.
So did I notice Isaac and the crew, like the direction they were headed, or did I just hear that?
You might have seen them depending on which direction you are heading in.
I think
They headed northish.
not east.
Not directly east, no.
Is there a path that goes directly east?
From the town square, you can go east, you can go sort of northeast and directly north, and then kind of south. So there's kind of like a weird four-way split of east, northeast, and north.
We should follow Isaac.
They broke northeast-ish.
Yeah, I guess I
actually.
was gonna say I would head northeast then, like
Yeah.
split the difference between them and the sound.
They
I feel
broke
like I'm playing Zork.
But like, and so like the proceedings of the festival itself haven't, like nothing has happened there. It's just like this weird pause.
Yeah, everyone has stopped whatever they were doing.
Yeah, Ramis isn't too worried about like getting killed for not attending them, and like he'll start to like try to slip away from the crowd.
what is the burgomaster doing while all of this is happening?
The burgomaster is observing what's happening. He looks as confused as everybody else.
Okay.
And as soon as Isaac takes off, the burgomaster is going to start to sort of move a little bit towards the back of the crowd and try to speak with one of the guards to see if he can get command of what's happening.
Scanning the crowd, do I see like, so we saw Rictavio head somewhere?
You saw
he,
Rictavio
dipped
take
through-
off, yeah.
through the crowd. Did we see anyone else that we've met, specifically the guy with the?
And it's actually only Syndra who noticed Rictavio slip away.
Okay. Well, has Ramis noticed any other familiar faces?
Besides Ismark and Irina and Gadolf, no.
Okay, that's okay.
Did I notice Rictavio slip out before or after the scream?
Right after, like immediately after the screams.
Okay.
The moment the screams happened, he like slipped away.
Sketchy.
And time is moving, and people are going to start doing things.
I'm
if you
still going in
want
that direction.
to take off.
I'm waiting to hear what I see.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I mean, okay, we should RP this. We're being stupid about it.
I'm
Does-
already.
Anyone have any idea what that could have been?
And the townsfolk, one of the townsfolk nearby who hears you, looks over and says, "No," and he says, "I'm going home." And he like grabs his wife, and they scurry off.
Uh-oh.
I say we find the source of this sound. What say you, Zug?
We should follow Isaac, the man with the ugly arm.
And suddenly, an upheaval begins to happen, and all of the townsfolk begin to chatter. The volume gets louder, and all the townsfolk almost in synchronicity. What's the word I'm looking for? There's
synchronized unison.
Sure. I was looking for a cool word instead of 2 words.
Unison
whatever.
is probably the word to go for.
They almost in unison begin to kind of stomp their way around and run out of the square. And some of them start to panic. Some of them start to scream. You start getting shoved, and they start running past you. And it's kind of like that scene in The Lion King with all the wildebeest, and they just like start running down the road away from the east. Some of them south, some of them north, in all sorts of directions.
Is Ramis through the crowd? Like,
You are at this point. If
Okay.
you left earlier, yeah.
I mean, I followed Ramis.
I'm like sprinting as fast as I can.
Yeah, we're heading north.
So you guys are sort of heading north through the town.
Northeast.
Northeast through the town. And as you head northeast, you see a bunch of houses. You see empty houses where you guys are at. All the town square is still there at the moment. But you don't see anything out of the ordinary quite yet. All the streets look empty from where you guys are at.
Okay. And I'm assuming I haven't been able to catch up to Isaac and his crew.
Isaac and his crew are now out of your sight. You don't know where they've head off to.
Did I?
I think they probably left after you. Sounds like you broke immediately.
I'm going to send my owl up into the air high above so I can get a top-down view of square and what's going on around us.
Yeah, so above the square.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like kind of time sensitive what we're doing here, right? It's real time. So like I need to know what you guys are doing at what time.
Should we do it turn-based then?
Potentially we can do it turn-based.
Yeah, if you want to do something that is time critical, you should just roll initiative. And then run whatever is time critical on its own turn without telling us.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to take place over like a little bit of time. Like turns to me are like 6-second intervals.
Yep.
This is going to take place over like a 10 to 15 minute time span. So 6-second turn based is a little bit too like nuanced. It should mostly be like approximate. Like
Okay,
it should be this thing happened, and then I at least want a sequence. So I'll let you guys as a party sort of decide what you do, and then the townsfolk are going to kind of do what they do either at the same time or after.
Well, it doesn't take very long for me to throw an owl straight up in the air to see if we can get a bird's eye view of the town, the area around us.
The town square area?
I mean, that and the area that's like outside of that in the general direction of where we heard the growling. I suppose I would probably be looking at most focused.
And I think Ramis at every intersection I'm reaching, I'm like just trying to assess which direction I should be taking based on what unfolds.
Did you just dart off into the crowd?
He just like ran off and shoved people out of the way by himself.
No, I'm with him.
Okay, so I went with Ramis. Okay, great.
I want to go after Isaac because he seems to know at least something that's going on with that.
I'm about to find them with a bird.
Okay, and what about Sindra? What do you want to do as your first sort of action here?
Kane, are you with them as well?
Oh, I'm still standing right where we
You're
were.
just, like, standing
I
and
threw
going,
my bird up into
"Cool."
the air.
Okay.
I want to know
Then I
where they are.
I'll stick with Kane so I don't get lost in the crowd. Yeah, I would wait for direction with what he can see with his owl.
Yeah, probably a good call. Look at these freaking cats. All right, so as Ramis and Zug take off in the northern direction, and Isaac also takes off in a similar direction, but maybe down a different street, Kane and Sindra are standing still in the square, and Kane sends his birds up to take a look at what's happening around them. And Kane, looking through the eyes of the owl, can see down a northeastern alleyway, there is what looks to you, and again, there's a little bit of a
Nebs
Hello,
does that
pay
all the
attention.
time to me in meetings.
I'm the star of this show.
she's the
back
star of
down.
every show.
Now she's bored.
Okay.
Oh.
she didn't see the food she was looking for immediately.
So Kane, with his owl, sees down a northeastern alley street, which is a little far away from where you guys are at. Not super far away, but like would take you several minutes to get there at least. Kane is able to see what looks like a tiger prowling down the street, looking very frantic and agitated.
I hope someone has something like Calm Beast.
Do you have animal handling?
Is that a thing? Oh yeah, it is.
It is.
I do not. I have +3, which is not much.
Better than -3.
I also have a +3. Try it out.
All right, Cinder and I are going to Captain Planet this shit. Let's go. Cinder, there's a tiger to the northeast. Which way did Zug and Ramis run off?
Northeast.
To the northeast.
So we're gonna go off in that direction. I'm heading pretty much straight toward where I saw basically where the tiger was, but I'm keeping an eye on the tiger as we go.
Good idea.
So as you continue to keep an eye on that tiger, before Isaac, his guards, Ramis or Zug can make it to the tiger, you spot colorful robes approaching the tiger.
Do I recognize him?
Rictavio.
It is Rictavio.
Rictavio the tiger tamer.
That's son of a gun. Told you he was bad news.
And the tiger responds positively to Rictavio.
Rictavio's tiger? Seems like a tiger guy. Oh man.
I don't know. Ramis is more of a tiger guy right now.
And you and Rictavio and your pissing contests. Look at this. Look at you seeing this? He's tamed this beast.
That's good.
Many talents.
What do you
This
got,
is a simple
Rictavio?
cat. He has
He's really
simple
good.
desires.
He's so calm. And you see Rictavio attempting to lure the beast in a certain direction.
Is it towards something, some kind of object or thing that I can see?
Not yet, but as you scan a little bit further, if you continue to scan, if you notice this, which you've noticed, okay, he looks like he's trying to bring it somewhere. You scan the general area, you notice a wagon with a busted door in the middle of the stockyard of the town. And you make a connection that Rictavio looks like he's trying to lure the tiger to that wagon. So as time continues to pass, as the minutes go on, you also notice Isaac getting a little bit closer and getting a little bit and honing in on the location. The tiger hasn't made any noise since the first time it snarled, so no one really knows where the tiger's at, except right now maybe Rictavio.
How is my progress though versus Isaac's?
So depending on what direction you guys went in, unfortunately, you don't have any information about where what you're looking for is, except for northeast-ish. So you are both at this point kind of just exploring down different alleyways. You don't have any indication or clues as to what you're actually trying to find or where that might be. The only person actually right now who knows where the thing is Rictavio and now Kane. So at this point, I am actually just going to roll a dice to tell you guys who's going to, luck of the draw, find the right place. Whether it be Party or Isaac. Ooh, and it's Party.
Nice.
Hello, Cheddar. So, oh gosh. So, as Isaac and his guards continue to search the general vicinity, and Zug and Ramis continue to search the general vicinity. Upon a bit of luck, Zug and Ramis are able to find the location of the disturbance. And now Kane, or Zug and Ramis, see what Kane had seen up close, and they notice that this is in fact a saber-toothed tiger. It has huge, huge fangs. This thing looks like it's 800 pounds. It is gigantic.
800 pounds?
It is
That
giant.
is not a cat.
Okay, maybe that's a bit excessive. 500 pounds. I don't know how much tigers weigh.
Tigers weigh like up to 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a big tiger.
I believe it. Dire
Okay.
tiger. A freaking saber-toothed tiger? Hell yeah.
Okay, thank you for
One-
validating me.
1 ton. I'm imagining it bigger.
Saber-tooth tiger.
Okay, males can weigh up to 680 pounds.
Okay.
Females only 370.
Okay, let's go with like this is a large tiger. It's 600 pounds. It wasn't that far off.
Okay.
So this thing is gigantic. It's massive and terrifying. And as it begins, as you encounter it, it notices you, but it continues to follow Rictavio. And Rictavio notices you.
Yeah, so I think as immediately as I see this situation, is the tiger between Rictavio and I, or am I closer to Rictavio?
The tiger is between you and Rictavio. Rictavio is in the front, leading the tiger backwards. The tiger is here. You guys are behind the tiger.
So if I'm like just sprinting and turning a corner and I see this, I like stop and I just yell at Rictavio. I just say, Isaac is after you. How can we help?
And Rictavio replies, oh goodness. And he says, please distract Isaac and distract the burgomaster. I need to gather my horse and my wagon.
Okay.
And he begs you to distract Isaac and the burgomaster while he collects his horse and wagon. And as he asks you to do that, he runs up to you and pulls out of his pocket a piece of parchment, and he hands it to you, and he says, I will be lying low in a tower west of here. And he hands you a parchment, a piece of parchment that he says is a map.
Yes. We got a map.
You will get a map.
Map just to his place.
It's like one line is just
It's drawn with a Crayola.
It's just a crayon with like a little tower drawn with like brown sharpie.
Grab a crayon, scribble this down.
He says, I will be lying low in a tower to the west of here. Here is a map. And he hands you a piece of parchment. And he
take it and shove it in my.
And he also says, also, I encourage you to seek out the mad mage of Mount Baratok. He says, there are boats on the docks and the wolves are dangerous. So use the boats to cross the lake. And with that, he immediately takes off and runs towards the direction of the stockyard to gather his horse.
The boats are in Maritok, you said?
There's boats. He said there are boats on the dock.
Boats on the dock.
Yeah. North of the town.
North of that. Okay. I immediately just turn to Zug and I say, split up, my friend. You know what to do. And I like just start running, like looking for Isaac and like listening for sounds of them.
Mm-hmm. So as all of this chaos ensues, what about Kane and Cinder? What are you guys doing at this point? While this transaction, and assuming that Kane can probably witness this transaction transpiring, maybe you can't hear what's going on, but you can at least see that Kane, that Zug and Ramis were able to make contact with Rictavio and the tiger.
I'm gonna say I'm keeping a bird's eye view, and we're moving toward that position.
Okay. And
I'm also looking for Isaac as we go.
Yeah. And as you continue to move through the crowd, there are tons of people still scurrying around, like screaming their heads off as reports of a tiger running loose in the streets ruin the festival and send all the townsfolk scurrying back to their homes. So Isaac is still set out trying to figure out what is happening. And And Kane and Sindra hear the distinctive voice from the ruckus of the crowd yell out, "Do not panic, all will be well." And it,
Oh.
yeah. So, as Zug and Ramis split up, which, by the way, I realize I'm not using dual monitors. Am I? Let's find out. I am. Okay.
It's always a mistake.
Well, it's going to change the format of the video. That's fine. We'll do it midway through so you can see everybody. So I am also going to roll for who is able to eventually encounter Isaac first, or if Isaac is able to encounter Rictavio first.
Zug and I split up. Advantage. I rolled a 20.
So Isaac will not encounter Rictavio before the party encounters him. So now I'm going to roll Zug versus Ramis. Who encounters?
Oh, shit.
No.
Zug encounters Isaac.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
So,
Wait. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Zug, why do you gotta be such a good tracker?
Why do you have to have such dumb luck?
you guys had pretty good luck.
Yeah, we had, yeah.
So as you guys both meander around the streets searching for Isaac and his party, who is also searching for Rictavio, it is Zug who encounters Isaac and the guards initially.
So what is he like running up to me and we just happen to meet up?
He's like running down one of the streets with his guards in tow, and you kind of meet at an intersection where you find him. And he doesn't really care about you. He's going to keep moving.
I'm going to shout out, "Wait! I found the disturbance."
Isaac turns to you and waits for you to continue.
It was a dog. A great big bushy dog. I scared him off with my muscles.
Isaac eyes you and his eyes narrow and he says, "Take me to the disturbance."
Okay, follow me.
Where do you go?
And Isaac is going to actually follow you. And Isaac motions to his guards behind him, but you cannot make out what the motion is. He motions secretly.
With his big fat arm or his normal arm?
Both arms.
I'll lead him to where we found, I guess, where we ran into Rictavio.
Yeah, okay. So where you met up with Rictavio was basically at an intersection of like the main road, which is Vallaki as a town, the old Spalak Road, which is the main road that runs all throughout Barovia that you actually took to come in and through Barovia and all the way up here. That main Spalak Road runs straight through Vallaki. And that's kind of the main road. And then the town is, you know, kind of north and south of that. So you guys met up right at a southern intersection between the main Spalak Road and a more southern road. And so you head over there, and Rictavio is no longer there, thankfully. And Isaac looks around and he says, "Where's the disturbance?"
Like I told you, I scared the dog off. This was where it happened, though.
And Isaac narrows his eyes and looks at you one more time, and he says, "We will find the source for ourselves," and begins to set out again, looking around for what he deems an acceptable response.
Josh, did you lead him away?
I wasted his time as
Doug
Rictavio was
unknowingly
running
led
wild.
him closer to
No.
where Rictavio is.
Is he hiding or did he run off?
He went
tried-
to the stockyard
Yeah.
to collect his wagon because he needs a transportation vessel for this tiger.
Mhm, mhm.
And the stockyard is southeast. And you led the party, or you led Isaac rather, a little bit east. And based off of what Rictavio told you, he said, I will be lying low to a tower west of here, which means he will need to travel through the town west to get out.
Hmm. Well, hopefully I wasted enough of Isaac's time.
Yeah. Isaac is going to continue to set out to look for where the disturbance may have come from. He will wait no longer for your shenanigans, and he will continue to run around. Okay. And, oh goodness gracious. As this is going on, the burgomaster begins to conduct an investigation to figure out where the tiger came from. He starts asking townsfolk, and he starts telling his guards to ask people if they know anything about a tiger, and questioning some witnesses. So he's beginning to conduct an investigation of what's happened. And Rictavio is still in the town. He will have to attempt to make an escape.
Kane, what are you and Cinder doing?
Well, we were making our way toward that. I feel like we have been snared by a frostbolt on our way over.
You guys, it will take a couple minutes for you to get there. I mean, I'm assuming that
We were only
sprinting.
like seconds behind them when they left. They've had a conversation with
Are you guys
Rictavio.
sprinting?
Now they left. Well, we were moving at the same speed as they were.
They
Sprinting?
were sprinting.
We left and you were still in the
Yeah, I
middle
don't
of
know
the
why.
courtyard,
I
and
f-
you threw an owl up.
We were moving toward the tiger, Rictavio, Ramis, and Zug as fast as we could. Which, by the way, our speed is the same as their speed. So whatever that speed is, a lot has happened in the like 20 seconds gap.
Yeah, you guys will get to meet up with them pretty soon, depending on exactly where you're headed. So are you headed towards?
Well, apparently Zug's had a chance to lead what's his name halfway across the town in the same amount of time.
Well, we got there.
It's not halfway. It's not that. Where he found Isaac is not far from where he met with Rictavio. It's probably like maybe less than a minute's journey.
Yeah.
It's close. It's all close. Like this whole square, this whole little area is like not that big. So at this point, you guys are kind of hoping that Rictavio was able to make it all the way to the stockyard, which Kane can tell from his, bird's eye view, is about 5 minutes to like the southeast. So as this is all going on, yeah, Kane and Syndra will finally be able to reach their destination. If that is meeting up with Zug or Kane or trying to find Isaac or trying to find Rictavio, is not clear to me yet. Where are you guys headed?
Well, we don't know that they had a conversation and Rictavio said, meet me at a tower to the west. Syndra and I don't know that.
He did not say that, by the way, just as an FYI. He said, I will be lying low in a tower to the west, and he handed you a map.
Yeah, so Ramis has a map to get to where he's going to be lying low. We don't know any of that. We just, as far as we know, there's a tiger on the loose, and it's dangerous. What did I see happen to the tiger?
The tiger continued to follow Rictavio in the direction that Rictavio lured him, just towards the southeast.
Okay, so Rictavio and the tiger went for a walk to the southeast. Zug and Rami split up looking for Isaac.
Yeah, so you would have seen us.
And we would have, I would have been able to see Zug meet up with Isaac then too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Why not?
So we're going to stay away from that. We're going to try to find Ramis then.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
So Ramis is just like running around being a crazy person. And eventually, Kane and Sindra find him and meet up with him.
As soon as I see them, I think I just yell at Kane. It's like, I think just like, look for Rictavio and his pet. Make sure Isaac does not find them.
I know where Octavio and his tiger are, though I am perplexed as to why you let him go.
Was I supposed to apprehend him?
I don't know. He has a tiger, for crying out loud.
It is a tiger. He is doomed to have a donkey head placed upon himself and locked in the stockades. What do you want me to do?
Fine, Remis. What would you have us do then? Shall we simply leave town?
No. Like I said, I think you should find Rictavio and keep your friend on high alert for Isaac.
I know where Isaac is as well.
Are they
Zug
close?
found him.
They're like a minute or 2 minutes away from like where you guys are at. You get there real quick.
Yes, he's not far. Zug found him and led him off a short distance.
Oh, I worry for Zug.
Perhaps we should find Zug and make our way out of this festival.
There is no more festival going on right now.
Danielle, I had to go back and check my notes, but it says that Rictavio is a carnival master.
Yeah.
Do we know where this carnival is and like where he would probably be? Like the tiger probably escaped from there.
He suggested to you that he was a carnival master back where he is from. But
Okay, but
there is
not
no
necessarily.
carnival in Baruvia.
Cool, just a stray tiger.
Yeah, he does, for some reason, possess a saber-toothed tiger. And you guys have no idea why at this moment. No.
Okay.
Oh, she's snuggling. Look how cute it is.
Precious. I'm so jealous. Cosmo came over here and then he was like, no thanks. And he sat as far as he could on the opposite side of the couch away from me.
Oh,
Cheddar's giving Ryan all the snuggles right now.
So sweet.
I don't know why.
He hates her, that's why. She's spiting you with cuddles.
With licks and bites.
Yeah, so Rictavio is a carnival master, or so he's told you.
Okay.
And he does have a wagon. Yeah, that Kane is able to discern.
Okay.
That checks out. Carnival.
Tiger, yeah, checks out.
Fucking carnival.
So as the festivities continue, and when I say festivities, I mean terror of what is happening. Rictavio is gathering his horse, his wagon, and tiger in that order. And he is getting all things together and preparing to head out of the town. He feels it is unsafe to stay where he is. So as he makes his way up to the Sphalic Road, he can see from his point of view to the left and to the right, he can see that Isaac and Zug are in tow nearby the main road. So Rictavio understands that he cannot leave town in that direction at this moment. So Rictavio goes and actually travels onto a northern road, a side road, and parks there for a short while. And he gets out of his wagon, gets off his wagon, and he heads down the main road as stealthily as one half-elf bard in colorful clothing can, and makes his way over to the first person that he can find on the road, which at this point would probably be Zug. Where are the rest of the party going at this moment?
Yeah, I think we should
Getting
try to
set
get to meet up again. So let's head towards Zug. In fact, I'm gonna like fly the owl down like so that Zug could probably recognize it from the height that it's flying. So he knows maybe to hold position.
After I let Isaac away, I immediately went to try to find Ramis.
Okay, so you guys eventually convene on the main road, which is where Zug is approximately. And not far behind, you see Rictavio coming in your direction, trotting along the road, looking as if he very much wishes to speak with you.
Okay.
Ramis is so upset. You hate Rictavio so much.
No, that's not.
Oh, what's up?
I think. So is he engaging us yet, or is he like
He's
like
on his way towards you.
trying
Yeah.
to? Okay. Yeah. Let him speak, I guess.
Rictavio approaches you and he says, I need to leave this town towards the west. I can explain everything at a later time. And he nods towards Ramis, who had been the one originally to to express interest in helping him. And he says, Ramis has a map of where my location will be. If you care to find me later and learn more, please do meet me there. But right now, I need to escape the town. Can you lure Isaac and the Burgomaster away from the main road for several minutes in time for me to escape?
Ramis is like wanting to interrupt him, like I think by Rictavio coming out and like engaging us, he's like painting a target on our back. So Ramis will say, "We cannot afford to be seen with you. I can disguise myself, but the rest of you should stay away from us." And I said, turn to Kane and say, "We could use your eyes though, and some sort of signal if Isaac and the Burgomaster are getting close."
Yes, well, we can keep an eye on it from up above. I still am aware of where Rictavio's gone.
Or Isaac.
Or yeah, Isaac.
Sick.
Yeah, Isaac is still scouting a northern road, but he's beginning to sort of circle back. Now, fortunately for you guys, all the guards that he summoned, the 5 guards, are all traveling with him. They have not decided to split up.
Dummies.
It's very Isaac-like. And the rest of town is creating a lot of chaos, which could provide a escape mechanism for Rictavio. But he is basically asking you guys to like keep Isaac off his back while he gets out of here. Also, I will say from that brief interaction that nobody else knows that tiger is Rictavio's yet, not at this point, except for you guys, even Isaac.
But he's gonna be like escaping with the tiger?
In his wagon, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm afraid of.
So he has his wagon parked on a side road. He was about to run back there and grab it. He wants to.
I just mean if
I'm
I'm going to guide him out, like I don't want anyone to know that it's me that's doing it. Yeah.
And he doesn't even want you to guide him out. He just wants you to keep, especially Isaac and the Burgomaster, distracted.
So what I was trying to say is I don't think we can keep them distracted, because if we do, they might catch on to us now that Zug has already tried. So I'm just trying to have us like help him avoid them altogether.
An escort, yeah. If you want to escort Rictavio, he so do you make it clear to Rictavio that you're trying to escort him? Because me, the DM, did not understand that piece, that you wanted to actually help him out.
Yeah, however I need to say that. Like what I basically said was like the group shouldn't travel with them.
Yeah, and Rictavio replies, he says, no, please do not travel with me. Do not give yourselves away.
Perhaps we
You
can...
must stay here to learn more about the Mad Mage.
But if we try to distract Isaac too many times, he may catch on, my friend.
Rictavio says, "It will only take me a few short minutes."
Well, then get going.
And he nods and he runs back to his wagon. And after like 30 seconds, you see him come back to the main road.
I'm gonna say
if you guys have already not,
no.
if you guys are already not running off, trying in search of distracting Isaac while Rictavio makes his escape. It's going to take Rictavio like 5-ish plus minutes to make his way all the way out of town. But again, Rictavio is only concerned mostly with Isaac, but also slightly with the burgomaster.
Yeah. I'll turn to the group and say, does anybody else have any ideas?
Perhaps we can create a small distraction in an opposite direction from where Rictavio must travel.
I like it. You are a wizard.
That I am.
Oh, and of course, literally.
So you know where Isaac is, from where you guys are. He's a couple of minutes away. They're still scouting around the town. They're not really running, but they're like walking quickly and scouting in different directions and opening some doors and just trying to check out what could have possibly caused that sound. Because at this point, there's no other sounds that have transpired. So they haven't heard anything else. So they're kind of just going off of the general direction, general vicinity. But they don't know very much at this point because nobody has magic owls.
We should have become raven people.
Did I scratch my nose?
Did you? I don't know.
Just, it's a little irritated looking, that's all.
I think I scratched it.
Oh no, babe.
It's okay. Life happens.
Indeed.
Okay. So, would you guys like to do a thing or just let Rictavio try his best?
I would like to not interfere with Isaac unless it looks like he's going to intercept him somehow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And you have eyes in the air, so you can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually going to do my best with like a map that I'm looking at to see if I can figure out the logistics of would Isaac intercept Rictavio. So as Rictavio begins to make his way out of town, Rictavio is going to make it about 2/3 of the way through the town. Because again, he's starting on the east. He has to make his way all the way out to the west. By the time that Isaac and his guards will make it back to the main road. Now, there is a bend in the main road, which means that by this time, Isaac will not actually be able to see Rictavio's wagon on the other side of the bend. However, if Isaac heads down that way, he will be able to find him. Fortunately, it seems as though Isaac is still looking in the eastern half of the town, whereas Rictavio has now officially made his way onto the west side. So Rictavio and his wagon are scooting along out of the town, and then at this very time, you see Isaac head back to the middle of the town square to find the burgomaster, and you can see this from your bird. And Isaac meets up with the burgomaster, and they exchange some words that you cannot hear. And Isaac now commands his guards to spread out and head to, and one of them heads to the stockyard. One of them begins to head to the Blue Water Inn, and one of them begins to head towards the
So is
west.
there a reason in particular that the owl wouldn't have been able to hear them?
I mean, does the owl like speak English?
Well,
How
I
does this
can
work?
I can use its senses as though they're
Like you
my
can hear.
own.
I mean, it depends on how close you are. If you got within like 10 feet, yeah.
No, I mean the owl has a specific trait called keen hearing and sight. So he has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or sight. So,
So it depends on how close you're willing to get.
Well, I mean, not so close that it would be annoying, but close enough where, you know, why are they whispering or something that the
they're not
bird
whispering,
would not have a
but
chance
it's
to
in
hear?
the very like middle of the town square. There's no trees, there's only structures. So an owl, like, it depends on whether or not you care about being noticed. I guess I was operating on the assumption that you did not want to be noticed and that the owl was flying pretty high.
I mean,
above the
it's an
town.
owl. I would say maybe it like lands on a nearby building or something like that.
What are its checks to wisdom and perception for hearing?
It has a +3 to perception and a +3 to stealth. Its passive perception is 13, and I can do perception checks through the owl with my own perception checks if I'm actively trying to.
You can just stalk someone using this owl.
Yeah, pretty much.
It has a range.
Familiars are annoying. Wait,
Yeah,
but
it can't go more than, you know, like
there's a
100 feet from me.
yeah, there is a distance from
Yeah.
you though that it has to remain in.
But we're in, you know, not a massive distance from the town square, so
You're probably a couple 100 feet.
100 feet's pretty close.
well, let's say this: if I'm within range of being able to see them, then I'm within range of being able to hear them. As
I think
far
it's
as
like-
the owl function.
I'm envisioning the owl being really high up and you're seeing like a huge.
Well, it couldn't be too high up, because if it was too high up, then it'd be too far away up.
like 100 feet up, it would be able to see like the whole town.
I mean, I'll just make a call, Danny.
I tried to, and I got checked. Unless you want to be very obvious and get a little bit closer, I'm going to say like you would not be able to hear this conversation. He's not yelling.
Okay.
So I'd say you need to be within like 10 to 15 feet to hear what he's saying. So if you want to get in range, that is going to risk like being noticed. But
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
It's an owl.
I don't know if owls are native to Barovia. I should look that up.
Should have had a raven familiar, dude.
A raven would actually be a lot.
Well, he
more
also looks like
discreet.
he's like decaying.
Your familiar does?
Well, that's what Danny said. She said when I
Oh,
summoned him, it
the
looked
death
like
house.
yeah.
The familiar.
I don't know if that's still in effect or not, but
Oh, it's in effect everywhere. Yeah.
Gross, dude.
It's pretty gross. So you get close enough to be able to hear what the burgomaster says to Isaac, and Isaac does notice the bird, and he notices that it looks weird, and he's very keen on seeing it at this point. And the burgomaster relays to Isaac. He says, "The stockyard owners were paid by the bard to keep an eye on his carnival wagon, and they admitted to hearing evil growls and scratching sounds coming from inside the wagon. The owner, which I can only assume is Rictavio, routinely dropped food into a hatch on the roof and paid Gunther and Yelena for their silence. Arrest Rictavio immediately." And then Isaac commands his guards to spread out.
Okay.
nothing we didn't already know.
Yeah.
Basically.
Now they know it's Rictavio. They did not before.
That's true. That's important. Kane,
Mhm.
are you relaying any of this to the group?
Oh yeah, I'm
Right.
keeping people apprised of the cliff notes.
So you told Ramis that there is a guard headed west.
There's a guard headed
And that
western.
they
towards
know
West
that
Side.
Rictavio is the owner.
There's a guard headed to the Blue Water Inn, and there's a guard headed to the Stockyard.
Yeah, I turn to the group and say, should we try to waylay the guard headed westward? Maybe some sort of illusion or prestidigitation, my friend? I give Kane a wink.
Yes, I say nothing too harmful, but perhaps it would be beneficial for us to inform the guards of a separate serious situation that may need their attention.
So oh my god. Sorry for the incessant mysterious cackling.
Uh-oh. We all died.
No.
So what happens? So which way are you guys headed right now?
So I was just suggesting to the party, this is for their consideration, that we try to intersect with the westward headed guard, because that seemed like the most threatening.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a solid plan.
Okay, so you guys want to chase after that western guard?
Well, are we further west than him, or has he already made it?
He's already further west than you at this point, yeah.
Oh, then yeah, we're trying to catch up, I guess.
Yeah, he's heading, he headed due north of the town square, and now he's headed due west down the main Follick Road. And according to the pace of what you are noticing between the wagon and the guard, it does look like the guard will catch up to the wagon. So you guys can chase after the guard if you so desire. Is that the course of action the party wants to take?
We should book it.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So as all of you book it west.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, maybe some of us chased after the guard, maybe some of us chased to, like, past the guard. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the fastest? Are we all exactly the same fucking speed?
I think so.
Ugh.
Yeah. And the guard is the same speed as you guys as well.
So we're not gonna get.
But he's not booking it though.
But we are running with more intent.
He is actually not booking it as fast as you are, but he's still booking it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not like sprinting, but he's booking it. So as this sort of congeals onto itself, Rictavio is continuing to make his way west. Rictavio has made it about like 3/4, maybe a little more, towards the western entrance of the town, western exit of the town. And the guard, dressed in his armor, leather armor, so he's a little slower, starts to make his way up to the wagon. And as you guys are chasing and booking behind, you start to close in on the guard, but not before the guard is able to actually approach the wagon.
Nice.
So you guys are very much in tow right behind the guard, and the guard runs up to, and as soon as he sees the wagon, he starts booking it a little faster, and he runs up to the side of the wagon to confront Rictavio. And before any of you have a chance to react, you see out of the front of the wagon you see an extremely swift strike to the hip and leg of the guard, by what appears to be Rictavio's cane. And the guard pins himself and like cries out and like falls down onto one knee, and Rictavio leans out and looks behind at the guard, and then sees you guys outside the back, and he smiles and winks and continues to ride his way out of town.
Ramis will immediately start walking and doing whatever the rest of the town is doing, trying to not.
We should blend.
Trying to blend immediately.
Quick, look natural.
Like, fuck Rictavio, I'm just a citizen.
And Rictavio with all of the guards being in attendance at the Festival of the Blazing Sun, is able to make it out of town without much more than a swift cane swipe to the leg of a guard. And the guards all start to convene into the center of the town area. And Kane's owl can still see this. And Isaac calls his guards in, and they have a brief breakdown of what's gone on. Isaac says, "We should interview some more witnesses. Do not ever let that scum back into our town." And the Baron, still being in the square and still every now and then screaming, "All will be well," whilst also continuing to interview witnesses, decides to give up on his festival, realizing that people are not going to come back, and heads back to his mansion. And all is not well.
Is that the cliffhanger this time?
It's not a really good cliffhanger this time. Rictavio made it out, and everyone is like, "What the fuck?"
Well, Rictavio made it out, and nobody suspects that we had anything to do with it, right?
Not that you know.
Except for maybe Zug.
Yeah, but you can just chalk that up because Zug being dumb.
Zug's just Zug.
He did see a dog. He didn't see a cat, right?
It was a dog, and I scared it with my muscles.
Exactly.
Oh man. And with that, fucking hell. We'll go to next time.
Good.